think everybody in cycling knows about Mont Ventoux.
It kind of sticks out there on its own, isolated from the other mountain chains, the Pyrenees and the Alps.
It's always a crazy event. There's always a spectacle.
Sepp Kuss, we're gonna ride up this iconic mountain. Thank you for joining us here on Mont Ventoux on Zwift. We are getting a sneak peek here of the Mont Ventoux course. Relive your own ride on this course, as well as some of the other iconic moments on Mont Ventoux.
Hopefully easier than in real life, but you never know.
Oh, look at all the fans. It's weird that there's fans here in the virtual world, but not in the real world.
Yeah.
So you had to train inside for 2 months.
Yeah.
And during this time, you became quite the accomplished Zwifter, a level 22 Zwifter.
No, I'm actually one lower. I'm looking right now. I'm only 21. My goal was to get to 20, so I never got the Tron bike, but there's some perks along the way for sure.
Did you find yourself telling stories about your Zwift ride that day?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, you're doing these races and you're just getting your butt totally kicked, and it's hilarious. I'm suffering like crazy. I've never suffered like this in any normal race before, and here I am fighting for 50th position. A weirdly humbling experience sometimes. So.
What were some of the things that you learned on your way to becoming a level 21 Zwifter?
I like Watopia because it just had a lot of diversity. I also did quite a bit in London. It was a bit easier mentally. When you hop on a virtual and you think, okay, it's a bike race, but there's a lot more nuances to it. The starts are really, really fast, and it felt a lot like a mountain bike race or a cyclocross race. You just start hard, get in good position, and then you just kind of hold on. You know, and of course there's drafting and things like that, but it's not quite as noticeable as when you're outside. So in the end, it's definitely a different effort than being outdoors.
Let's get into Mont Ventoux. To me, probably the second most iconic climb in the sport after Alpe d'Huez.
I think everybody in cycling knows about Mont Ventoux.
How many times have you ridden up this mountain in real life?
Just once, but we didn't go all the way to the top. We just went to the chalet. What makes it so interesting is that it's just out there, you know, it's just in this maritime wine region, and then all of a sudden there's this huge mountain. It's always a crazy event when they race up Ventoux, and there's always a spectacle. The year when Lance gifted the stage to Pantani, Froome running up the section, got taken out by a spectator.
Froome running up the mountain. For me, that's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in a bike race.
That's a pretty iconic moment.
This is a mountain that has actually taken someone's life. I mean, Tom Simpson, a former world champion, died just, short of the summit of Ventoux. Famously, his last words were, "Put me back on my bike." If you ride all the way to the top, you'll see the memorial to him. People die, and then that becomes part of the legend of the mountain. Whew, well, starting to get hillier. The bottom and the ascent to Chalet Renard is so hard. And there's these little placards that tell you every kilometer and what the gradient is. Only 14 kilometers to the summit, Sepp.
Not bad. We're chipping away.
Take us inside that day, stage 3 of Provence, late February.
I remember when we were driving to the race, you could see it in the distance for a while, and you think, oh man, that's going to be a doozy to ride up. Everybody in the peloton was really fresh right from the bottom. Nobody had really used any energy until that point. So already from the bottom was really a high power climb. That just made the pace really fit over most people's limits. Quintana was motivated. The whole team was pulling for him. He has a good kick, but I didn't know that it would be such a sharp acceleration.
When he's on the front on a climb, you know it's going to be going very fast and he's going to take off at some point. You knew that because you were right on his wheel when he went.
I was definitely anticipating something. When it's a climb that steep and you're even just one rider too far back, that can be too big of a gap to bridge. So I thought I need to be right on Quintana's wheel because he's going to go at some point, and it's better to be right on his wheel than too far back. It was nice to try, but he was going like a rocket, and there was no way I could hang on any longer than I did.
He did go on to set the record for the climb up to Chalet Renard. Were you just sort of in disbelief in terms of how fast he was going?
Yeah, the speed he went for his attack was impressive, but to hold on to that speed was also something. It was a really fast climb.
Do you think that it made a difference, it being in February, a little bit cooler weather than during the heat of July?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's typically raced on in the summer when it's super hot, and to do it in the late winter where the weather was perfect, it was really an ideal day to do a fast time.
It looks like we're approaching Chalet Renard right here pretty soon. We can see the dome top of Ventoux there to our left. And when you got to the finish in Chalet Renard, did you feel a bit cheated? Like, man, if we just go another 8-10K, we can be up at the top.
A little bit, to be honest. I mean, it was a beautiful day. I thought, oh, we got this far. Why didn't we do the whole thing, you know? But
all right, Sepp, thank you so much for sharing your Mont Ventoux experience with us.
Thanks, Ian. It was fun riding with you. We used our teamwork to the best of our abilities on this climb.
I'll be honest, you're kind of small. I was not feeling as much draft off you as I would have hoped. You also have a lot of food in your pockets. You are very well fueled.
It's French baguette for the top.
All right, well, I'll race you to the top. First one there gets the baguette.
All right.